everybody. Let me get this off of here. Here I am. All right. Welcome to the after party. Wasn't that fun? I am loving these beads. I'm going to add this to my stream right here. Let's see. Oh gosh, so many of you jumped over, right? Here's the link to the live sale. Easy to find it right into Just In. Those are going to be up through the weekend. I wanted to grab my coffee through the weekend until or until they're sold out, so you can shop. Oh, is there no sound? Can you folks hear me? Check, check, check. Let me know if you can. Emma says no sound, but let me know. If you can't hear me, maybe refresh. Maybe it is. Drea can hear me. So turn up that sound or refresh or whatever so you can hear me. Okay. Yeah, make sure that you're not on mute because that's me for sure. Okay. Let's do a couple of things. Let me get that. You're going to see in your newsletter. Let me get it here. You're going to see it in your newsletter. We have reactivated our Spring Fling coupon code. I think I might have accidentally deleted it in my banners. Hang on, let me make a new one. Here, let me just grab one here. So bear with me while everybody's jumping on. I'm just going to do this. Spring Fling, not Spring Fling 20, just Spring Fling, and save 20% store wide. And that expires on Sunday. Sunday's date is, let me look. Sunday's date's the 28th? Ooh. 4/28 at midnight PT. Playing at checkout. There we go. There it is. It's right there for you. Okay. It's going to go in tomorrow's newsletter, but we're giving it to you a day early. Okay. Day early for you, just because I don't want you to get the newsletter tomorrow and you're like, hey, what about it? How come we didn't get to have that yesterday while we were shopping for Kate's project? So yeah, it's good for everything in the shop, but it won't work on the live sale items. Live sale items, my friends, I've already marked down 10%. So you'll see they do have tags on them. You're going to get them with the tag. What you're actually paying is 10% less than that. So, and those prices are reflected on our website. So I mark them down for you. Really terrific pricing on all of these beauties. I'm really, really happy about these. We have another live sale coming up kind of on the heels of this one. I have buttons that are going to be coming up on the live sale. I'll double check the date. It might be next week. I'll check the newsletter, or I'll check it, or Drea, check the date and drop it in the chat. The buttons that we have are gorgeous. I think you're going to love them. There's a few whimsical ones. I also have some button giveaways for that sale. The live sale today, thanks, Drea. It's May 3rd is our next live sale, and it's going to be buttons. These here, everybody who orders today, I'm going to toss while supplies last. I'm going to toss one of these beautiful 18 millimeter check glass buttons in that our vendor so kindly sent us as little gifts for you folks. So that'll be that. So yeah, enter Spring Fling at checkout, save 20% store wide. Thanks. I thought I would kind of have a little bit of an ode to Palm Royale with what I'm wearing today. This is a headband here. Let me take it off so you can see it. It's from I don't know. I thought it was really fun to wear. It's got some bling on it. So I've got this. And then my dear mama got me this pin. It is so giant and shiny. So I'm going to make some jewelry. The piece that I'm going to make today, I was just really inspired by these beads. And I'm like, yeah, let's have the live sale, but let's do something after the live sale so I can, because I want a statement necklace with this. And these are so vintage and old school that I want to share them with you. Oh my gosh, so many of you are on here. Thank you, you guys, for joining me on the live sale like this. This is awesome. One thing I do want to say with Facebook and streaming on our streaming platform, groups, if you're used to watching our broadcast in the groups, like on our bead shop bead table group, Facebook has taken that functionality away. So if we're streaming on Facebook and we're streaming to multiple locations, as you know, we stream on Facebook, we stream on YouTube, all that kind of stuff. Well, Facebook has taken away the ability to stream into groups. So, unfortunately, if you were used to watching us on the bead table, I think we can actually go in and share it. I don't know, Dre, if you have a second. I haven't really tested that yet. You can go in and see if you can share it into the group. I think that we have to be an administrator of the group to share it into there. Anyway, making it all that much harder for these live shows to get out to our audience. But we are still streaming on our regular Facebook page, beadshop.com, on our YouTube channel, where the action's at, 100%. I'm also streaming on my Kate Richburg YouTube today, which I'm going to be doing more and more of that, just so it'll be easier for you to find. We also don't have the ability then to go in and stream right into the Great Bead Extravaganza group. So we'll go in, we'll share it in there. I'll get all of this down, but I just heard from Facebook. They just emailed or sent us notices saying no more streaming into groups if you stream to other platforms. So thanks, Meta. Anyway, Facebook is awesome. All of these broadcasts will be archived on our YouTube. YouTube is the place to be, really. You can hit that notification button. You can add it to your subscriptions, hit that subscribe button, make a playlist, all of that functionality. I think that's the way to go. But Andrea is jumping in to see. Great. Well, thank you, my friends. Thank you so much for supporting us with that live sale. As I say, they're going to be up until they sell out, or until Monday. They'll be up through the weekend. I think you'll really like them. And great. Thank you, Drea. If you can share there, would you also check and see, Dre, if you can share this into the Great Bead Extravaganza group? We'll see if we can. Not the page, Great Bead Extravaganza page, because we only use that for our big events, but into the group as well. So thanks, Drea. That's great. That's great to know. They always like to move things around. All right. Well, let's get to making, shall we? Let's make a necklace that's worthy of our Palm Royale look today. Okay, so let me spotlight that. You also may note, and I'm really pleased with it, our streaming platform also upped us to a higher streaming resolution. So you may see, what do I want to say? You may see an uptick in quality with our stream. We're really super grateful. We use StreamYard for our streaming platform, and they are great streaming partners. So a big thank you to the guys and gals out at StreamYard. Okay, the live button show on the 3rd will be, let me tell you, the 3rd of May. It is also, so we're going to do kind of the same thing. We'll do a live sale at 10:30, and then I think I'll do an after party to talk about the buttons, maybe design with them a little bit like that. So the live sale will start um, um, on um, on the live sale on the bead shop site. And then it'll all go live at 11 a.m. Pacific. And then we'll do a little bit of an after party. All right. I'll take care of that, Drea. No problem. We'll get all of that ironed out. It really just happened just actually, I think yesterday it changed over for us. So, yeah, anyway. And all of the info will be there that morning. So Drea will have all of that taken care of for you. Good to have you back, Drea. Glad you had a great vacay, and we tried to hold the fort down for you, but it's great to have you back. So, hurrah. Okay. Let me take a look. Janice made the suggestion about making these earrings, and I'm going to do it. We have the pad with post, and Janice used those in her earring that she made for her monthly earring kit. Was back earlier this year, and I'm trying to open my little bag to get my things out of. Now, these are what we called in bead shop land for a long time, the pad with post. It's a sterling silver pad with a post and on the back, right? And we're going to glue those right onto the back of this earring like this. Because something like this, a big earring like this piece, is perfect for an earring top. And so if I do it before I string anything, it might be okay for me to try on at the end of the show. So there we go. Let me center those. This is, and I also want to make sure these have a shape to them, see? So I'm putting them mirrored so they're not exactly, facing the same way. So I'm going to mirror these like this. Now, let me get a plastic baggie, because the last thing I want to do, though this velvet pad isn't super pristine, but that's where I'm going to glue those on. I think I'm going to use Zap. That would be my bonding agent of choice. You could use E6000 too, if you want, but for metal, for me, I like the Zap glue a lot. And thankfully, I've got brand new Zap sitting right here. This is what we use to glue all of our clasps in and stuff like that, right? So I'm going to use the Zap. Yes, Michelle is saying that she loves the fact that Palm Royale has Carol Burnett, and it's her birthday today. Is it her 90th birthday, or it might be her 91st birthday? Carol Burnett is one of my comedy icons. I just love her so much. Yes, the cast is so good. The costumes are so good. It does have some what I want to say, suspense. It's really great. But yeah, Janice, I agree. Zap glue is my jam for this. I mean, you could use E6000, but it's not my first choice for sure. Yeah, but it's so fantastic. You folks will understand why I'm wearing this headband when you watch Palm Royale. Okay, so this brand new Zap, so let me open it up here. And we're also watching, speaking of suspense, whoops, this is coming right out. Speaking of suspense, I'm just going to use this. I'm going to get a little toothpick. There we go. Put this on my baggie right there. She's 91 today. Yes, I thought that she had already passed her 90th birthday. So happy 91st birthday, Dear Carol Burnett, let's all tug on our right ear like she used to when she said goodnight to her viewers. That was a little signal right to her grandmother, which was cool. I just love her. Nothing like those Carol Burnett skits, especially with Harvey Korman and Tim Conway. Gosh, so funny. Palm Royale Ma is on Apple TV. It's just so good. Okay, here's my earring back. I'm going to get my little bit of zap that kind of jumped right out of my little tube. I want to put that zap like right in the middle there because I don't want it splooging it out too much right on the sides, but here we go. I'm going to put that right in there, and I'm going to put it up kind of closer to the top like that. Oh, thank you. Really kind words. Thank you, Maybelline Perry. Terry, I agree completely. Good physical comedy, so funny. And Margaret, yes, my complete favorite skit, of course. I just saw it in the window and I had to have it. Bob Mackie in those costumes. Bob Mackie, he designed so many of Carol Burnett's costumes for that show, and of course, so many of Cher's costumes for the Cher show. Good old Bob Mackie. Those gowns we'll never see the like of again. So good. So I'm going to press those down. If a little bit of the glue comes out of the back, you can take it away, but I'm actually not going to worry about it. It's not coming out too much, right? Let me zoom in on this so you can see it a little bit tighter, just like that. I'm going to set those aside. I'm going to create the bottom dangle, though, here for this one so you can see it. Let's put this together. Now, what I'm going to use here, and I promised you I'd tell you what that seed bead was. Let me see if I can find it. That was, I could go with a larger bead too. I want just a dot of color. That one is, I've got it right here. That one is the 11-313SF. That's this one. Tiny little dot of color, right? Tiny little dot. I think I'm going to use it. Let's see. Since this earring will hug the ear, even though like this bead is kind of heavy and this is kind of a big, heavier kind of a bead, it'll sit really nicely. And then the earring back, we've got this disc earring back here that's also going to help to hold it. I like that tiny little dot of color down there. And I'm just going to put it on the bottom. It's super subtle, but I like it. And I'm going to make my loop over the top. I'm not going to wire wrap this at all. I'm just going to connect these with rosary loops. And I'm not going to connect them until this has a chance to sit. Okay, I'm going to make the loops kind of small because I don't want them to dangle too long. My favorite Carol Burnett skits, there's so many that I loved, but they did the parody of Rebecca, the great movie with, Larry Olivier and Olivia de Havilland's sister. Why can't I think of her name? Anyway, the parody of that on the Carol Burnett show is just so good. I think that's my favorite. And any time that Tim Conway and Harvey Korman are cracking themselves up in their own skits, so funny. But the Rebecca, I know the Gone with the Wind skit gets all of the love, but the Rebecca parody is just crime. So I'm going to move these aside. And if you haven't watched Rebecca, rewatch it or watch it for the first time because it's such a good movie. So good. Joan Fontaine. That's who it is. Larry Olivier and Joan Fontaine. For a minute, I couldn't think of her name. I should know better. What would we do without Turner Classic Movies, right? So good. Let me put these back. And let me just jump in. I am going to cut up some strands. Okay. Let's look at, these are all from the live sale, and I'm only going to use beads from the live sale today. Okay. Let me zoom in just a little bit. There we go. Okay. I'm going to use, obviously, these, obviously, these, obviously. I think I'm going to use all of those. And now I need to figure out what color is going to be my accent. I think purple. I'm going to use that big bead. I think I'm going to use that smaller one. I think I'm going to use that. I could also push it to green instead of purple, right? If I took those out. I could push it there. Look at what those do. Those are nice, right? Those lime. Maybe it's the lime that I want. Because I could also do that. And this. Right? I know, I love the heart. The heart is so good. So good. But I think I'm going to go with this. And I think I'm going to take this one out because it kind of fights. Those two kind of fight. I think it's going to be this. Does that shape fight? Maybe that's better. Right? I kind of like that big travertine in there. This kind of, this kind of pop art or kind of 60s throwback necklace, the colors are so, saturated and so interesting and unusual. I think the more that you push your color story, the better, right? This really has kind of a vintage, kind of a tiki vibe to it, I think. That last one that I took out, let me see, that bridge, was it this one? No, it was this one. Yeah, I think you're right. Maybe I'll pop it back in. That one. I think it does need that. Yeah, a few teddy bears. I mean, why not? Right? Look at how cool this color looks. It's a great color. Yeah. Okay. So, and this, I'm going to do the closure with this button. Yeah, this gives it kind of a tiki vibe, which I love. Okay. Let's make a pop. So I'm just going to lay, you know what I'm going to use? I think it's clean if I can find it. Yeah. Let's move it to Janice's favorite beading surface. Let me grab this. We've got time, right? It's a Friday. Let me trade this over. I have a smaller table now also that I'm broadcasting on. I'm not, oh, whoops. So much smaller that things just fall right off. Awesome. We might have to trade this out eventually sometime. Still a work in progress. Let me get this there. Let me put that over there and this here. My board, as you can see, it's kind of a little, it's been well loved. It's a great board for working on your pieces. There we go. Yep, Ultimate Design Board, JP, right? It's so good. Let me go ahead and I'm going to cut some of these up. Let's go ahead and what I like to say is free the beads, right? So let's free the beads. Let's do it. There are those. Here are these. These are just so good. These guys here. I want to use these big ones. I want this to be like a crazy statement necklace. Whoops, there goes. Beads like to live on the floor. What a surprise. Here it is. Look at that. Let me get that a little more in center here. Yeah, the bear looks like a tiki, like kind of a glass, like a tiki glass, right? Or a Mai Tai glass or whatever. So let's use them. Come on, bears. I'm not afraid. Let's get you in there. Right? Good job, bears. Let's do those. Let's get some of these travertine, these triangles. Look at that. I can't not use this square. I have to. Trader Vic's. Yes, JP. This is a Trader Vic's necklace. 100% it is. So good. Yeah, let's go for it. Look at these 14 millimeter. Oh, there's a little spider friend here. Here, little spider. Let me get him. Hang on. There he goes. Oh, come on. I can't just smash him. Come on. Come on, Spidey. Get on this bag. Come on. There he goes. She. She's probably a she. Come on, Spidey. I don't want to smash you. Hang on, everybody. Let me get him. Let me get her. Yep, there we go. Okay. She's moved. Sorry about that. Just a little tiny, tiny, tiny. She is. She just wants to hang out with the beads. She was tiny, tiny, like a 2 millimeter bead size. She was just a tiny little thing. She can't help it. She's a spider. I don't mind. I don't mind spiders. Other things I mind. I don't care for snakes. I like my reptiles to have feet. Snakes kind of give me the willies, but I just steer clear of them. Yeah, anyway. Little Spidey. She was so tiny. There we go. Maybe I read too much Charlotte's Web as a child, right? Let's do, yeah, I think it needs a little bit of this brown. This is when the spider got here, so let me put those down there. Let me put these. Okay, so now what we're going to do, the way that I tackle a project like this, because this is going to be like string it, string it fast, quick, jump in, right? There's a good bead soup. Let's get these in. And I want this necklace to kind of hug my neck because it is going to be heavy. I could make this long and have it wrap, but I don't. I think I want to make it like a 3-strander. Okay. All right. There we go. Here it is. Let me get this, move all of this over. Yeah, I'm going to have to trade out, I think, for a bigger table. I don't know. We'll see. So here's the beads, the bead soup right here. Let's get all that ready to go. All right. And my string material of choice is going to be our soft flex beading wire. Okay. Now, when I have to string fast, well, not when I have to string fast, but when I want to string fast, this is how I set it up. Let me get a stool so I'm good to go. Ooh, I don't know what a cat-faced spider is, Margaret. I'm going to have to look it up. Spiders do give me the willies. It's not like I'm going out there and making friends with all the spiders and hanging out and having tea. But if I leave them alone, they usually leave us alone. Yeah, they're usually pretty chill. You know, they just like to hang out, eat the bad bugs, especially here in Fresno. So many flipping mosquitoes. So we want them to hang out. Yeah, I'm gonna have to very quickly look it up on Google and then close the page real fast so I don't freak myself out. I'm gonna cut myself 3 strands of soft flex right here. Okay. And I'm gonna put them down on my beading board here. This is the 0.014. You could also use the 0.019 for this, right? Here we go. And I'm just going to string. I'm not even really going to think about it. I'm going to get like this large one. I know I want this to anchor. Like that. And then I'm just going to string. Now I haven't put tape on the end yet, right? I'm just going to string like and not pay any attention to what I'm putting on. I'm going to go on this strand like this. Then I'm going to go to this strand. I want that big one there. I want this. And I want this little one. I don't know, kind of changing everything up when I put it on. Lay that one down. Get my next one. And I'm thinking too much. I'm thinking. Don't think. Just string. This shape. Okay. So I've kind of established, all right, like this. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of lay out. I know I need to use some of those big ones. I want one of those over there. I need another one of those there. So I just want to start to kind of place my big beads because I want a pretty equal distribution of color. So I'm going to now kind of work. This is the center-ish, right? So I'm going to kind of work from both sides. I wanted that one actually over here, but I don't want to take anything off. There we go. I want another, maybe I'll do this one over here. Sometimes I also like to do an intentional repeat like this. Okay, let me zoom down just a little bit more. You can see maybe a little bit closer. There we go. I've got my tape here. I'm going to put tape on the bottom soon. There we go. I think that's better. Yeah, better. I want this TB, Mr. Bear. Yeah, those look good. Turn around, Bear. So just string, and string I'm going to string fast. I'm not even going to think about it too much. I like doubling up on these little saucers here, like that. I need some more of this here. And this one. Yeah, there we go. I need another big one right there. And don't worry, folks, they're only beads, right? If you don't love it, you can sort them back out, right? So here we go. That looks good. Let's throw one of these over here. Just string what feels right, right? There we go. We're getting there. Yeah, nice. I need some green over here to balance. So let's balance it. But see how it is when you work from the middle and work your way out, you can, and when you work on kind of all three strands at the same time, it kind of goes together like a little puzzle, right? I think it's time for this because you can see kind of what it's time for, right? It's like, oh, gotta put one of these guys in. There we go. You need to be really careful though, because I don't have any tape or anything on here, right? Right? Yeah, Janice calls this laning. That is correct. It's in the Designing a Cuff series. But it's something, yeah, that I really do quite a bit. And I think it's really an effective way to work. Let's go ahead and might be time for another bear. I mean, if we're going to put the bears in, let's put the bears in, right? Square needs to go there. The earrings are curing as we speak, so I'll put those together and we'll take a look at how those are looking. I think I need another big one of these down here. Look at that. Look at that beauty. So gorgeous. Right? Let's get something up here. Let me see where I am lengthwise. I'm probably about a third of the way. Let me measure. That's about, 6 to 7 inches. I'm going to close it at about 19. The closure, it needs to be finished about 18 to 19. I'm going to string it to about 17 inches and then let's see where it goes. Okay. Oh, good. Thanks, JP. The original Tricks of the Trade about laning and color choices. Way back in the day when we had our brick and mortar store, I used to teach a class, and we'd call it the advanced stringing class. And then Janice eventually started also, she did a fantastic class on this tricks to laddering. And we talked about design approaches and how to pull your design and everything in. I hate to take something off, but I feel like this needs to go there. So I'm going to. These are just big. I can't forget about these. Sometimes when your beads are all in a pile like this, you kind of forget them. So let's get this back on. No spacer beads. I thought about using some 8/0 as spacers, but I don't think so. Right? I'm just gonna do it like this. we need another big one. I keep wanting to take these beads off, but I feel like that needs to go there. So I'm gonna. It is a great handout. You know, if you look and kind of explore through the site, there's so much learning that's on there. I think I'm going to put this on, then I'm going to put that there. So if you click into the projects, take a look at the different handouts that we've got. All of our really fantastic skill builders that we've got for you. So much to learn. Also, my friends, the lookbooks. If you have not gone to our lookbook series, I don't know what you're waiting for. They're so good, so inspiring. A big thank you to Ali Mori for all of her work on the lookbooks. Debbie, you might be watching on my channel. I think Janice is over on the Bead Shop channel. So you may be missing some of those. There it is. There's the lookbook, because we're broadcasting on Kate Richburg YouTube as well as Bead Shop YouTube. Don't forget, friends, you can use, I'm putting it up for you a day early, our Spring Fling. Use it at checkout and save 20%. It's going to be in the newsletter tomorrow, but I wanted to give you folks watching, just as a viewer exclusive, early access. So now I'm going to kind of start to go back and forth between these. See how I'm trying to keep all of these big elements. Yeah, see, sometimes I have to go back through. I think this needs to be there, so I'm just going to do it. Because these lime green and yellow, they're such a punctuation mark that visually I want them to be weighted equally throughout the piece. And these are such big beads that it's no big deal to take them off and put them back on. But be really careful, my friends. I don't have tape or anything on the end here. Okay, we're getting closer. Let's go ahead and, yep, streaming with Softflex is so friendly. It is so true, Ma. It's so easy to do. 9 inches. We're getting closer. Yeah, there we go. Well, thank you, my friend, for watching on the Kate Richburg site. I like to broadcast over there sometimes to get some content going on over there. I'm going to have some more metalsmithing for you folks as well. I promise you. Let's do another flat cube there. This strand has no flat cubes, so let's put one there. Put one of these over here. Hopefully I'm not off. Yes, we love our friends at Softflex. A big thank you. We fondly remember Mike Sherman, who passed away, I believe, earlier this year, one of the founders of Softflex. We miss him. He was just a great guy, a great force in the bead world. His partner Scott still runs Softflex, but they were fixtures at every bead show, for sure. They came in our store when we had our brick and mortar store. Mike and Scott came in. Softflex was fairly new on the market. They came into the store to hand sell it. Right? They came to us and they said, hey, we've got this string material. And, then we used a product called Tiger Tail. And I was not a huge Tiger Tail fan, right? Because it was just so stiff and not not fun to use. But Softflex came around and we were sold. So Bead Shop has always been a Softflex fans. We're so lucky to have them in our orbit and in this business world of ours. So a big shout out to my buddies. You see Kristen Fagan and Sarah Ayler over on the Great Bead Extravaganza doing their Softflex magic. We are so lucky to have them as well as colleagues and friends. They broadcast every week. I think one of their, I think Joan, is it? I think she goes live on Wednesdays a half hour before I go live. Really fun stuff going on over there on Softflex. We're really, oh, there's our Cynthia. Cynthia, you knew, right? We're so excited to also have our buddy Cynthia Thornton. She's going to come to our bead retreat. We're going to miss Emily, but Cynthia and Azalea are coming. And Cynthia, you could not be more right. Mike and Scott were always amazing support of bead artists. They bought your work early on and used it in their samples for sure, right? Joan is on Friday. Okay, thank you, Ellen. Thank you for that. Debbie, you're welcome. The code through 428. I'm sorry about your family emergencies, so I'm so glad to bring it back to you. We always appreciate your support. Let's see, this is growing and it's looking pretty darn good, if I do say. Okay, so I'm at 11 almost. I need about, I don't know, 3 or 4 more inches here, 3 or 4 more inches here. So let's do it. Let's really get down to it. I hope you folks don't mind hanging out with me. Free Tip Friday is always a little more casual. So I'm not going to worry about time. If you folks have to jump away, this will be up on the website so you can watch it at your leisure. It'll be up on our YouTube channel. I totally get it, but I just wanted to string and spend some time with you folks today. So that's what I'm doing. Plus, I think it's fun sometimes to see this necklace from start to finish. At least it will be for me, because then I'll know how I'm finishing it. Right? Okay. So here's this. Sometimes I slow down a little bit as I'm finishing. I don't know. I start to maybe doubt myself a little bit or something, or worry that it's not distributing correctly, but I'm just going to press through, right? This is the part I start to get a little, oh, is this right? Don't question it. Just move forward. Really great. That's a really nice comment. Marcia, thank you so much for that. We've been doing this in some form or fashion. We've all been stringing beads since we were kids, for sure. Janice started the bead shop back in 1982 when she changed it over from her mother's store, Antiques Etc., on Hamilton Avenue in Palo Alto, California. Antiques Etc. morphed into the bead shop. The bead shop was going strong, and I joined bead shop in our brick and mortar store in 1992. I left Apple Computer. I left my job at Apple, and I went to work at bead shop. And it was the best decision I've ever made. I stayed with Janice for 10 years, from 92 to 2002. We did a lot of really amazing stuff. Open stores, closed stores, taught hundreds and hundreds of classes. trunk shows, special events, mentored employees that are still in this business today, thanks to us. And I went off and I opened my own store there in San Francisco. And we had a lot of fun in SF. Christine and I had our store in the city. Really fun times. And then I went to work for my buddy Lisa Kelly over at Bead Education. Really fortunate to be able to have had that experience. And then in 2016, I'd written books, I'd traveled, I'd taught, all of that. In 2016, I finally have lunch with Janice. Finally, after a few years of saying, we've got to really get together. And JP said, come back, right? So I did. And now Janice and I are partners. Janice gets to live on the East Coast. I get to live on the West Coast. We have a thriving online community thanks to your patronage and your dear friendship here. It's what keeps us going. Small business, my friends, is not for the faint-hearted. And there are some days, we'll be completely honest, that we're like, what are we doing here? Right? But we keep doing it because you folks keep coming back. So we couldn't do it without you. And we're super appreciative, everyone on our team. We are so grateful. One of these needs to go here. This is where I start to kind of fine tune everything, right? So I'm going to fine tune this. I worked for a little bit of time at SF MoMA when they reopened. That was a lot of fun. And SF MoMA was trying to grab me. It meshed really well with like my teaching schedule when I would teach nationally and internationally, but I came back to Bead Shop. It was the time to do it. And it was so much fun. We are still having fun every day that we do it. And we had people lining up outside the store for classes. It was fun. We'd have people travel worldwide. I'd have a group of ladies that would come from Japan. They would come and they would sign up for their classes. They'd take classes for a week, bring us such lovely gifts. It was fun. Still fun. We wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't fun. But yep, since 82, since 1996, I believe we bought this URL, right? Really early on. Thank goodness we did. All right, getting closer. So close. I'm going to finish this one up. So this is where I start to shift. Okay. This strand is looking good. Let me zoom out a little bit. I start to shift. Thank you, Janice. That is very kind, but it is a group effort, for sure. Each one of us is an important cog in this bead shop wheel, right? So let me make this one the right length. This is when I start to refine. So I'm going to kind of move these out so I can see them as individuals. And I'm going to move them over just a hair like that. Because this spacing is pretty important to me now, right? That I've committed to it. Okay. So right there. Okay. Oh, Janice, that is hilarious. Because, back in the day, in the 90s, Janice was the first person to have a mail order catalog. Our mail order catalog was called 99 Beads, and we sold beads all over the world through that print catalog, if you can believe it, a print catalog, right? Crazy. And that really made people, when they came to the Bay Area, they would stop in because they wanted to see what this was all about. And the store back then, we still had some of like the vintage beads. We had a lot of strands of like tribal and Really beautiful stuff. Now you can't touch that stuff anymore. You can't find it. But I remember the back wall on our slat wall, we had strands and strands of vintage beads, big beads, African beads. Yeah, Janice, we should do a memory lane show. That's kind of what this is turning into. But we had so much fun. I've got a lot of pictures. Janice was always so well turned out. She still is. Janice is always well dressed, but Janice was always so well turned out with her what was that store in Palo Alto? JP had a lot of togs from there. Really fun times. We used to do the black and white ball, make earrings, right, from the black and white ball. Wasn't that fun? Janice did. She had her long curly hair. Long. Margaret O'Leary. Is it Margaret O'Leary? No. What was the store there? I'm trying to remember. Palo Alto was a great place to have a business then. It was still an affordable place. It wasn't, Silicon Valley it was going on, but it hadn't exploded like it has now. We had a lot of college students that worked for us, some of which we're still friends with. So fun. Let's put one of these down here. We're going to start. J. Foss, that's right. JP, that's right. That's right. Yeah, I took Gran over to Bead Shop, and I made her a little fishy necklace. She came to the San Jose store. Remember that? And yes, JP, it is true. Do you folks know what was above us? At our second location, when we moved onto the corner of High Street and University, Facebook was above us. So if you watch the movie, like The Social Network, when they're in their Palo Alto offices, that was upstairs from the bead shop. And they put a sign right next to our door, practically, that said Facebook. It's a little sign on the wall, had the same Facebook logo and everything. And people would come. This was the late 90s, early 2000s, right? People would come, early 2000s, I guess, would come and take their photo next to that sign, right? Wasn't that hilarious? But all of that stuff was going on upstairs. We were slinging beads downstairs. So funny. Okay, real close here. So I'm going to leave that there and go in. We had, at the height, Ellen, our brick and mortars, we had a San Jose store, a Palo Alto store, which was our flagship, our Los Altos store, our San Jose store. And then we also had a store over at the Great Mall of Milpitas. That was an interesting experiment. They wanted us there so badly. We stayed for a bit, and then we decided the mall wasn't for us. But it was interesting, for sure. And then, of course, we had our classroom space in Mountain View. Super fun. Okay, so I need to start tapering these now. So let me put one more of these, and then I'm going to taper. All of the ends are going to have the same beads. They're going to have this and this to taper. Okay, so now I need to make this the same length there. So let's just yeah, they gave us free rent. Remember? That was just nuts. So funny. There we go. This one. And I'll end it with these two. I don't know why this became such a nostalgia show. I don't know. I guess I needed something to talk about while I was stringing. But it's fun to chat about old times for sure. You know what? I haven't used a bear in a while. I think I'll put a bear on at the end. Don't forget, you can find all of these live sale items on Bead Shop. Best place to find them is in new arrivals. Our just in page. How many of these do I have left? Now I need to figure. I want one of these for the other side, so I'm going to have to put it over here because I can't spend them all. I still have one of these big ones. There we go. I think that's it. That needs to go there. I think. I don't think I want to spend it on that side. I think I want to put it here. Even though it's big. I don't want to pull this thread out. Do not do it. This. And now maybe two of these and that green. So now what I'm going to do for this side, because this side is finished. Okay, we're going to go to the other side and make it fit correctly. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape these. So that nothing falls off. How much do I need on that side? Probably a little bit more. So I'm going to do that. And it's not going to really make a difference, but I am going to number them. This is strand number 1. That's strand number 2. That's strand number 3. Okay. So now let's slide it over here. Okay. And let me pull all of these together so they're even. And I want it to end, I think, about right here. Maybe a little bit longer. This is a good question, Terry. Let me put that up. Is there an advantage or disadvantage to using 3 separate cords versus 1 continuous cord zigzagging? So you mean having like a cord here, like bringing cords together to pull everything in? I think that's what you mean. Terry, you can clarify. I want this to sit kind of as a, I don't really want it to be graduated, but I want it to sit kind of close to the neck, and I want it to kind of fall, like individual strands fall one after the other. So that's why I'm doing it in 3 separate strands. I could have also just strung one really long strand and wrapped it, but these beads are heavy. This is going to be a heavy necklace. So it will be better, I think, to have it lay like this. Oh, so 1 cord zigzagging and then crimping accordingly. Right. So I can go here this way, then coming back this way and coming back this way. I think what you mean. I just like being able to see it this way. If I were just using 1 single cord, I could go back, then I'd have to move them around. I'd have to cut the cords and stuff. So I think this is just kind of an easier way for me to do it. Yeah, JP, I think, so I was going to do a button, and I'll show you how I would do this, but I think the Clio clasp is actually going to be better. 100% JP. And I think I've got one here. I hope I do. I'm going to have to look for it for a second. But I'm going to show you a couple of samples I think I can get my hands on that I could bring all of this soft flex together, put it through the button, bring it back through and macrame over it, and then make a macrame loop on this side. But I think that the look of a Clio clasp is actually going to be better. Okay, and I agree with that. And sometimes you just have to change ideas midstream, right? This wants to go over here, so I'm going to put it there. Just a few little tweaks sometimes, right? And I feel like this one wants to go over here. This goes right here. Okay. Yeah, again, too, JP, one continuous strand with something this long, one strand will get tight around the neck because this is heavier, right? Yeah, I do have a couple of little seed beads or a couple little closures that I'll use for sure. That's why I kind of want to make this, I'm going to string it to about here, and then we're going to take a look at the clasp and see how much length that's going to add. This is where it starts to get a little tricky, right? Because maybe this and this. Because we don't want to make it too long. This is really important when Janice talks about, sizing and finding the right lengths. A necklace that sits up close to your neck is no, JP, no. This is a good team effort for sure. Oh, good, Debbie, great. Good. I'm glad you found everything on Bead Shop. Perfect. It's great to have you sign up for our newsletter so you get all of our info. And there'll be more info coming on my metalsmithing stuff and all of that. It all sits under one umbrella. Let me put those on in this. Okay, there's that. That looks about right. Let me get this one to be the right length. I can fine tune it. It is a little bit of a masterclass. I don't know. I just felt like stringing with you folks today. So that's what I'm doing, right? I'm the boss of me, right? I wanted to string with you. And I just thought I haven't had my hands on like these chunky Czech glass. I have just found everything to be so inspirational with these. And I wanted you to get some inspiration from seeing me string something. Okay. Like this. And now I'm going to put tape down. All right, because we don't do anything before we taped. Okay. Janice says, on another note, I've ordered more bugles so you can make the loom piece I'm wearing. Yep. Bugles are coming in. And thank you so much. And Jeanette, thank you for bringing me back on track. Yep. When a necklace sits close to the neck, or when it's a multiple strand like this, it has to fit exactly right. Any drag, and I'm going to show you what I mean about that, it's going to pull your neck down kind of and be really uncomfortable to wear. But if the necklace is heavy and it's just the exact right length, the weight will kind of redistribute around your neck and it'll be fairly comfortable for you to wear. Okay. So here's this. All right. Let me see if I haven't put my clasps away in my new organizational system yet, but let me see. I have got a big box here that says clasps. Let me see if I can I've got a Cleo in here, if the bead gods are with me. I do. Oh, I do. It's copper. I'd like a silver one, but that may be a pipe dream. Let me just look and see. But I'm fine with copper. Nope. Pardon me. Oh, I have a gold. I think I like the copper, and it doesn't really matter, to be honest. Let me just look around in here. No. So here's, and actually it looks pretty good. Actually, with these browns, so I'm not going to worry about it, right? Check the length of strand number 1. Let's see. I'm going to fine tune these, but looks about right, I think. That looks about right. I'm going to use this copper clasp right here. Okay, so I'm going to switch the camera around to the front camera. And Janice, this is great advice for this as well. If you happen not to like necklaces on the shorter side, weight might not bother you either, but if it does, trading out some of the heavy beads for lightweight seed beads can certainly help, for sure. So you can use some of these larger elements like this, put some lighter beads, some lighter seed beads in there. Okay. Let me get me here. All right. So I'm going to, let me show you this here real quick. So I've got everything here so I can hold on to it. What I'm going to do, because I kind of want to approximate how this is going to hang on the clasp. Okay. Fitting a necklace like this is almost as time consuming as stringing the actual necklace itself. So see here how I'm taping it all together? Like that, nice and tight. It's a little tape packet. I'm going to do the same over here on this side. Get my piece of tape. Lay these little tape flags one over the other here. Like that. Okay. Now, I'm going to take off these big earrings and I'm going to take off this brooch because I don't want anything interfering with what I've got going on. Okay. I should have worn a shirt without a collar, but I can also kind of tuck this in. Okay. So I'm going to pick this up. I'm going to hold it by the tape. Really great question, Sherry Lynn. Will the tape pull out? I try and really make sure that the tape is on there. So look at this. This is about the right question. Debbie, repeat your question for me. I may have missed it. Flash it, ask it again. I may have missed it there. But look at this. And then in the back, I don't know if you can see what I've got here, but just by feel, I know my Cleo clasp is there. My little seed beads that are going to help to taper are going to be there. So I think this is the right length for me, right? And see how these just kind of lay, right? They're about right, I think. Too long, let me show you, right? Not as attractive. Too tight, not attractive at all, right? This is about right. So when I measured around my neck, I got my tape measure. And I kind of put everything together. And I knew that 19 inches was right on, okay? I strung to 18 because my clasp, this Clio, we call this the Clio clasp. See how it has those loops? I'm also going to have the crimp tubes on there. All of that, right? So it's going to add, this is going to add about 1 inch. Okay. And also, since the beads are large, they need a little more room. Okay. A little more room. But yeah, be really careful, friends, when you pick this up. I'm holding it really nice and tight right here around the tape. And I hold it. I know that's about 1 inch apart, so I'm good to go. All right. Let's close it, shall we? Here's the question that Debbie has, though. It's about tiger tail. Can you tell me about it and what it's used for? Okay, great question. So tiger tail is a nylon-coated wire beading cable, similar to Soft Flex, but the coating on it wasn't as flexible, I guess is the right word. So the Soft Flex would kink a lot, right? It wouldn't lay nice and flat. It would have the tendency to kink and then stay kinked like that, right? Soft Flex, while it still might kink a little bit, it is very flexible. It flows really well. And yeah, and it didn't have as many wires on the inside. Thank you, JP. That's correct. That's also correct. So Soft Flex is just really a higher end version of kind of that traditional tiger tail. Okay. So, and I'm not saying you can't use it because I used it for many years. But Soft Flex is really my jam. Okay. I'm also connecting this earring. Yeah, I think it only has 7 wires on the interior. I think that's right, to my memory. Let's go ahead and put this earring in too. So here's my, can I get it in there? There we go. Yes. Look at that. So what I did, let me put this back in. Here's the top of my earring. Here's my earring back. There's my dangle. Open that loop very carefully. Slide that dangle on. And these do not feel heavy at all. Okay. Thanks, Cynthia. It's a headband. I do feel very chic. When you and Azalea come, we will dress up. Like my grand would say, let's put on our summer dresses in the afternoon. There we are. Look at these. Look at how great they look. So vintage. So fun, if I do say so myself. Okay. So I guess I need crimps. Let me put this back. This is a good time for you to take screenshots here. Let me kind of do this, get this over there. If you want to take a screenshot. Again, this is all with the check glass today. Do I look ready for friends? Excellent. I am bringing this dress because it's like wearing pajamas. I know I have my crimps here somewhere. I just have to find them. I should have thought about that before I started this broadcast. Keep taking screenshots. I've got my bin with all of my crimps. They're there. It's right there, right next to me. Here it is. And let me see if I can unearth a crimping plier. I've got one over here. Still a little bit of a mess from this studio redo, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there. There we go. All right. Let's close it up. I think I got this headband at I think I got it on Amazon, to be honest. If you just put in like headband, you know, whatever, I don't know, headband or something. Okay. To use wire guards or not to use wire guards? That's the question. Okay. I like the look of a wire guard. It is going to add a little bit of, let me see. It is going to add a little bit of length, but I think we're going to be all right. Let me zoom in. I'm going to crimp this at Kate speed too. I'll talk you through it, but there is a, we've got really great tutorials on how to close 2, 4, 6, how to work with soft flex and all of these little findings. I'll use that same seed bead that I put in the earring just to tie it in. I just need like 2 or 3 at the end. So I'll go with a few. There isn't really much purple in here, but it kind of ties in with this one. I'm going to go with it. Oh, great, Janice. The Mien Dangle is back. So if you folks are waiting for the dangles, they are in. And yeah, Drea, I agree. I think it is heavy enough that we want the wire guards. Yeah. And you could use French wire. 100% you could. 100%. All right, let me open these up. I've got some crimps here too. Get a few crimp tubes out. There we go. And let me cut this open. And it's not bad. I mean, it's like, what is it now? 12:45 or so. I haven't been doing this too long. I really thank you. So many of you are watching. Thank you so much for sticking with me today. It's been a lot of fun to make this with you. So let me zoom back and let me show you how I'm going to do this. There we go. Let me get this out of the way. These out of the way. These buttons, remember, I'm going to put one of these buttons in each of your orders until I run out. And then when I run out, I might have something else to put in. So your check glass order, keep an eye out for a free gift. Here's a good question from Faith. If you're able to make this closer to the neck as you did, but each strand just slightly longer so they drape a little more, I think that would look great as well. I think it would look fantastic to be a little more, you know, like this, right? A little more, what do I want to say? Graduated, right? What I would do is I might make that graduation with the end at like with seed beads, maybe, or I'd make it here and I would use maybe smaller rounds. Like for instance, if I were using, let's say just a 4mm round instead of these. Here on the end, I'd use 1 4mm round to taper, maybe, or maybe 2. Here I'd use maybe, if this were 2 4mm, this might be 3, and this might be 4. You kind of have to play around with it though. This is where you really have to fine tune. You want to have with this size beads, and I'm just guessing here, if this is, let's say 18, this would be 18.5, and this would be 19. Okay. And Janice is exactly right. If you're graduating, go from the top, establish this strand length first. Then you go to this strand and this strand. Especially since all of these beads are different sizes, you really have to test it. Okay. I hope that helps. Right? Yeah, everyone's neck is different, so graduating is a little trickier. That's why with this, I just wanted it to hang up to hang closely, to all kind of hang one on top of the other. So that's why I made that design decision. I hope that's helpful. Okay. So now here's my Clio. I'm going to keep it together. I pull out this top strand of number one. It's the number one on this side. I pull it out really carefully. I keep everything else connected. I am going to put 2 size 11 seed beads, 1 crimp, 1 crimp wire guard, 1 wire guard, go back through the wire guard, and before that wire guard goes through, I want to put it through my clasp. Now I come back down. I go through my wire guard, tighten, squeeze the little legs of the wire guard closed so they meet. Slide my crimp tube. Let me get a little tighter. Okay. Sorry, I'm a little farther out there. There we go. I'm going to come in. I need to leave like a thumbnail of length or space in there because I am going to put a crimp cover. So I'm going to use my Xeron crimping tool to come in, crimp, fold it in half, and crimp again. Nice and tight. Get my wire cutters. I'll come in, I'll put 1 crimp cover on here now, but I'll come in later and do them, I guess. Whoops, sorry, I'm leaning up against this table. It moved, put that crimp cover around it. Gently, that wasn't quite as gentle as I wanted it to be. Close it. I use my crimping plier for this, the little rounder section. Don't smash it, just close it. So there's that one. So there's number 1. Here's number 2. I'm going to go a little bit faster. And I do all one side, and I'll tell you why. You can do one, then the other, especially if you're graduating. But I know that these are all correct. I'm adding just the same amount of seed beads on each. So I'm just going to go for it. Wire guard. Back through. Make sure you're sliding this on correctly. It goes in this one. Come on, hand. There we go. Then I go through my crimping, my crimp bead. This is really important with the little wire guard. Its little legs have to be pushed together just so it's not too wide for the crimp tube. I leave about a fingernail's width there. Oops. So I can get the crimp cover on. The crimp cover needs a little bit of space. If you push the crimp right next to the wire guard, that crimp cover is not going to have a place to sit, and it's going to be really difficult for you to put that on. I crimp that nice and tight. I don't run the soft flex back through. It's either crimped or it's not. If it's crimped, it's not going to come apart, right? If you have a little tiny piece of crimp of soft flex that you run back through your beads, inevitably, my friends, it is going to come back out to scratch your neck. So just come in and close it. There you go. I'm putting the crimp covers on because that's good. Whoops, sorry. There's 2 right there. Okay. Now let's do number 3. Slide this off. 2 seed beads. I'll get back in the shot here in just a second. 2 seed beads, 1 crimp cover. This is the easy side, right? Or 1 wire guard. It's the second side where we have to make sure that everything is not too tight nor too loose. So first side, easy peasy. Okay, back through here. Slide it up, close it, leave that fingernail width in there. I'm also, when I'm crimping, my soft flex is laying side by side like this. Okay, it's not crossed underneath the crimp tube. We want each little channel of, or each strand of soft flex to sit in its own channel in the crimp tube. There we go. And crimp cover. Put it on there like a little Pac-Man so that the crimp tube is facing up. Come in and close it. Okay, just like that. All right, everybody take a breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Let's pull this out a bit here so you can see. Okay, so there it is. Let me zoom out even just a little bit more. There we go. Okay, so now here's my other side. I'm going to slide everything over. And I'm going to check, I'm going to actually flip it. I'm going to check the length. And this is when I can see, right, that's nice and tight. These 2 look good, right? That looks right. That looks right. That one's a little long. Can you see that? And that is strand. I need to kind of untape this because I actually have no idea. It actually doesn't really matter. We just have to make sure that when you're crimping this to the other side, that this strand here meets its mate so that this is all one strand would be in this top hole here. Okay, so I need to fix this length. Okay, so I'm going to slide this out. I'm going to take this one off. I'm going to put one of these on, then this, then this. Now it's a little short. This is why having smaller beads is a good idea. I don't have any more. I really want one more of those, and I don't have it. So I think what I'll do is maybe I'll do this. Let me see if this works. You still have to fine tune. Oh, I just want one more of those. Oh, well. I'll put in, yeah, but see, those are the same. Oh, well, You know what? It is never, ever going to be noticed. So just keep going, Richburg. Just close it. Put that on. We'll do that. Don't sweat it. Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. Okay. Okay. Let me zoom in. Look beside the square beads. I think I'm missing. No, I got nothing, and I don't have any more over here on this. That's okay. This is fine. I'm not going to worry about it. And Janice is asking, is it going to make any difference if one of the strands is a bit longer? You know what? It honestly probably won't, to be truly honest. But since I was really talking to you about making all these the same length, that's what I'm going to go with. Okay. So let me zoom in and let's do this other side. So I'm going to start here. It's this side here and this side here. Let me zoom out because you can't really see that. And I want you to see this. Okay. So now 2 seed beads. 1 and 2. 1 crimp. 1 wire guard. I go back through the wire guard. And I make sure that it matches that strand. Okay. And I go through. I go through. Now this is the trick. We need to make sure that this strand has enough play, right, in it. It has enough movement in it so that it's not too loose or too tight. Okay, so I always crimp it in the round so the necklace is in a loop. And you can see I've got a little bit of space there and there. So I'm going to push all my beads over, pull this down, making sure, let me isolate it over here. See, I've got space there. I don't want any space or very little, maybe just like a hair of space there, which is also why it's good to put the crimp cover on at this point before you do the other side. Then I walk this down. I'm going to close up that wire guard, making sure that I've got enough room for my crimp to sit in there, my crimp cover. And it looks like I do. So I'm just going to come in and crimp this. Okay, I'll get a little closer on the next one for you. Come in, make sure it's flat. Any little extra bit of wire, if we have just a little extra bit, it's going to redistribute itself into the necklace. You want to be also really careful that you don't break that seed bead right there. Okay. So I'm going to come in. I want it to be flat if I can get it flat. There we go. It's a little too long. There we go. That's better. And crimp. Okay. Use the courage of your convictions. Get in there. Tighten it down. Give it a little hug. Cut this away. Getting closer. Crimp cover. Like a little Pac-Man. Get it in there. I've got a little bit of extra space, but that's what we want because the crimp cover needs room to go around that crimp bead. Close it up. Use the rounder if you need to. I'm just going to use the tips of this plier. There we go. So there's one. Strand number 2, this one. Try not to twist them. Right here. Janice, that's exactly right. We want our soft flex to feel like thread. So I'm going to come in, we'll do it here. 1 and 2. Sorry, I've been standing in one place so long, and my nice soft mat is not underneath my feet. Hang on. All of a sudden I was like, ooh, had to move. There we go. All right. Because I like to work standing up. When I do this, I can't sit down and demo. I have to be standing. And this one. Yeah, this Xuron crimper gets right in there, 100%. US made by our buddies over at Xuron. We really like this crimper. Get that in there. And slide it through. This Clio is a 5-strand. I'm sorry, a 3-strand. Probably with this necklace, 3 strands with this size of beads, this is plenty of strands, right? We don't need a 5-strander. If you use some big beads and some little beads, you could make it a little smaller. I mean, more strands is what I'm trying to say. Oh, it's kind of windy out there. There we go. And turn. And tighten that up. Clip it away. Put that crimp cover on. Then we just have one more. Okay, get this going. Get that right around in there. And so since I have room there, it goes in. Yeah, thank you. These, Margaret, thank you. Janice did this when we first got this tool. We marked it with nail polish. I think you probably can see it on one of those early videos. So I can tell where I'm aiming, because it's kind of hard to see if not. So we put those little dots on there. That was a Janice idea, I think. I think JP did that. Now let's go to this third one, this last one. Sorry if you can hear the plane. We're right in the flight path on certain days, so somebody I think was just taken off from the airport. And through. The little metal seed beads that we carry would also be nice for the end of this. We carry them in copper and gold and all of that. The size 11s. You could also use an 8 if you wanted. But I like the way these 11s look. Let's get this last one. And you want to take this slow and easy, right? You don't, because especially on this second side. First side, if you screw up, you can cut the crimp and everything off and you still have some material to work with, right? But for round 2, we don't have that. I want to make sure that feels good. So let's give a shout out to the bead gods and goddesses. Close it up, come in, crimp it like we mean it. There we go. Fold it. I have crimped a lot of necklaces. I do make it look easy, for sure. And yeah, the soft flex episodes always seem to be kind of epic, don't they? It is. Color coding setup of that crimp. Yeah, I thought we did it live on air. That was years ago. Softflex episodes always seem to be epic. This one's shaping up to be epic. 2 epic broadcasts this week, but I don't know. I really wanted to share these techniques. You can always pop back in and rewatch it. Whatever. Ellen will come in and timestamp all of these for you so you can get right to the parts you want to see. She works real hard to get these timestamps done, so we really appreciate that. Let's take a look. Let me get this board here so we can screenshot. There it is, my friends. There we go. Is it fuzzy? Let me fix it. There we go. Better. Whew. That was epic. Yeah, I'm going to put it on. Whew. I need to go take a walk after this. Loosen up. All this standing. Do a few little. There we go. Get it going. All right, let's put this necklace on. Here's the clasp. That's it. Thank you, Debbie. Thanks so much for watching. Here it is. Let me get kind of up close and personal. I have short hair, so I didn't mind where I wanted the big beads to go. Yeah, I said nap wrong. Thanks, Drea. But look at how great it looks on the inside of the. I love it, and it goes with my kind of Palm Royale vibes I've got going on here. Right? It's not bad. It's really good, if I do say so myself. I love how it hangs. We'll definitely put this up. We'll at least put it up so you can have a photo of it. I'll take a photo and we'll figure out where it goes. I know, I've been in a beading flow. I don't know, right? Who knows? I think it looks pretty good. Yeah, it's a good frame. It's a good face frame. I agree. Thanks, Drea. There we go. Let me turn. Okay, my friends. So let me put up the banner just so you know that we do have our coupon code for it goes through Sunday at 4/28. Let me put on a little lipstick. I think my lipstick faded. Spring Fling. Use Spring Fling at checkout. Save 20% store-wide. There we go. I say something lip. Thank you, Mac Ruby Woo, my favorite. All right. There we are. Lips are on. Necklace is on. I think we're in good shape. That coupon will be good through Sunday. You'll also see it in your newsletter tomorrow, but I wanted to share it early. It's good with the earrings. Thank you so much, Janice, for reminding me about the glue thing. I love that technique, and I think it really makes them look. It's really vintage. This whole vintage. I could have just gotten this right from the vintage store. It looks great. The Czech glass will be on sale or for sale. It is actually also on sale. I marked it down 10%. You'll see it through the weekend. We'll start getting orders out, so your things will ship pretty quickly. I am going to add your free button. You'll get a free button, Czech glass button gift. And then next Friday, we're going to do this all again, but we'll do it with buttons. Okay? I'll think of a fun after party technique to share with you with vintage. My friends, thank you as always. Janice, thanks for hanging in here with this epic broadcast and doing all of the doing all of the linking and stuff. And Drea, thank you so much for proofing everything and helping to get this this live sale on the road. It is not a solitary task for sure. So I really appreciate the two of you doing that as well. Thank you to all of you for watching. We will be back next week. I think next Wednesday. It's the first Wednesday of the month. So it'll be another epic segment of our masterclass. We also have our beautiful tea service monthly mix. I think you're going to love it. This was a Drea and Janice extravaganza. I think you're going to love it a lot. That drops on Wednesday as well. So thank you, friends, for joining me today. I will see you next week. Have fun with this live sale. It was great. It was great to hang out with you. Have a fantastic and creative weekend, my friends, and we'll talk soon. Bye, everybody.